the City. What is going on, St. Louis City SV fans? Thank you for joining us for another episode of Soul of the City. Today I'm joined by Milo and Chris. To start this episode, we would like to begin with an apology to the Nashville SC fans. During the game, we issued a tweet that was pretty distasteful, aimed at the Nashville SC supporter section. It was meant to be a bit of friendly banter. We were saying that their drum line was being pumped over the PA system because it was so impressive. We thought it was kind of crazy that it was that good.
Yeah, we thought there was no way it was real.
Unbeknownst to us, this game was a memorial, in a way, to their lead drummer, Ben Cowherd, who tragically died in a motorcycle accident very recently. And obviously we didn't mean to offend anyone with our tweet. It was definitely in poor taste, and we just wanted to issue an apology to what seems to be an up-and-coming franchise with a great culture and a great team. So, with that out of the way, we got cooked.
We got cooked. And we said it in the pregame episode. That man, Hany Mukhtar, I'm going to issue a belated Father's Day to him because Jesus Christ.
He's our dad.
He's our dad.
That was horrible, man. It didn't look that horrible to begin with.
I mean, just watching like him throughout that game.
No, he
he's
definitely
the
was the best player on the team.
He was the best player on the field.
Yeah.
He was so good. He was so good. But
might be the best player in the MLS.
Probably. I mean, he's got what now 13 goals and
6
7 assists or 6 assists. Yeah, just already racking it up.
Yep.
And
19 games.
More than a goal or an assist every game. So he's probably on the road to his second straight MLS MVP. Mm-hmm. Landon Donovan MLS MVP. But I guess we can start with the lineup. It was kind of what we all expected. Leuven out, and we now know that Leuven is out for 4 to 6 weeks, which is a giant miss.
Which I'm kind of also like skeptical on the timetables because they said Klaus was out for 14 days originally.
Yeah, I know.
And now Klaus is out for another 4 weeks at least, is what was said in the press conference.
Yeah.
So, and then also Nielsen, I thought he was supposed to come back late May, so now we're in late June.
And supposedly he's coming back soon. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, like, obviously these injuries take time and they take however long they take, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's tough to put a timetable on it. It's just, it sucks whenever you have expectations about seeing a player come back, and then you're just not able to, they don't pan out. So
plus, how are your timetables this wrong?
Well, I think it's specifically on Klaus's injury. You see stuff like this kind of semi-regularly in sports. Like if his injury is just constantly giving him pain day in and day out, and they can't figure out why, it's probably going to require a surgery, and they just haven't come to that point yet where they're like, all right, it's time to
cut him open.
Yeah,
I think there's some injuries where it's like an ACL tear, right? And you're like, all right, that's probably like a good 6 months to a year, right?
Yeah,
like you're out that far, but this seems just like a miscellaneous muscle injury. I don't even know what Leuven has ultimately.
Yeah, they didn't say specifically, but
I guess we'll find out in the press conference. But yeah, we can get into the game right at the beginning. Bunbury, he headed he kind of like
flicked it on.
He flicked it on, and then him and Nervinsky tried to chest it down. I don't know really what he was trying to do.
Tries to give it back to Berkey, I think.
Maybe, but it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of thought.
Way.
There wasn't a whole lot of thought in that move. Might have been what compelled Carnell to sub him off at half.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ended up falling right to Mukhtar, their main man, and we're lucky that he didn't just bury that one.
Yeah, it was on his least favorite of his 2 feet.
He still got a pretty good shot off,
it's a pretty good save too.
Position-wise. Yeah, it was a good save by Berkey.
Berkey read where he's going and did well.
Yep.
And then as we keep going, this is probably where the game should have been a lot different for us because in the 6th minute, Gio is kind of carrying through the midfield as he had dropped a little bit deeper to help kind of link things together. He starts charging towards the goal, sees Ostrak with a couple players on his back, plays a 1-2 with him, and then continues down the middle right through into the penalty area and does a scissor and kind of loses the defender a little bit, takes a touch with his left foot, and the dude just runs right into him. Like when he's on the ground, the dude's leg is in between his legs. And ref didn't call anything. And then but like a minute later, the next time the ball went out, the ref is told, "Hey, you need to go look at that." Like,
normally that signifies that,
like there was
somebody in the replay room thinks that there's a clear and obvious foul.
Error.
Yeah, there's
clear
an
and
error.
obvious error. That's like the specific verbiage that they use for VAR.
Yep, and the ref made it about him and
Yep.
decided that he was the almighty creator and decided
said no
that was
pen.
not a pen. I thought when I watched that, I was like, this is absolutely a penalty.
Yes,
There's
absolutely. a
Like
penalty.
100% of the time. I think every other referee in the MLS watches that and they give that.
It just seemed like an ego thing.
Yeah, it did. It
Like,
did. It even
He was like, I called it right. I
then
don't
he-
care what you show me.
Yeah.
and then he pushes Tim Parker on the way back. and
Yeah.
looking,
I'm like, what the hell
man,
is
Tim
this
Parker
guy?
would bury you.
Yeah.
I
And,
mean, we didn't even get to see like any replays.
yeah.
Yeah.
in Nashville. It was weird.
I feel that way about the ML. We were talking about it earlier. How Apple TV doesn't show any replays or like lines drawn for the
production value is not the same as like Europe
For
in any
offsides,
way.
is what I was trying to say.
For
Yeah.
offsides and even fouls, you
Yeah.
see a lot of better camera angles over in other leagues. But Mickey was specifically talking about how in the stadium, as kind of a benefit to the home fans, they didn't show any replays of anything that was controversial in St. Louis, for St. Louis.
Yeah.
Like when they said VAR review, they didn't show it. They just said VAR review on the giant big screen in the other corner.
I can't really blame him.
No, I
it's
can't
a
either.
home field advantage.
I feel like I feel like at City Park they replay everything.
Yeah.
like everything.
I do feel that way.
Because like
That might be
everybody
a St. Louis
turns
bias, though.
around and looks at the
Yeah, maybe
screen.
we're only looking whenever we want to look. You
That's
know,
true.
Yeah.
You see what you want to see.
It was just frustrating.
It absolutely should have been a pen, though.
Yeah,
I think I can't
At
believe.
the end of the day, should have been a pen, would have changed the game immensely because
Yeah.
the whole stadium went silent, and it was basically a sellout crowd. It was a little emptier than I thought it was going to be when we showed up, and we were up in 204, me, Riley, Mickey, and Jonah, and we were with a small group of other STL fans that I guess got tickets there as well, and then the actual away supporter section was directly like across the field from us, and we were loud, man. Very, very.
I could
big
hear you
support.
guys on the TV.
Yeah, in the highlight video during a few of the highlights, you can hear the vamos like going down and a couple of the other chants, and that's great to see. And that continued all the way throughout the first half because I'd say we look like the better team. Getting into the 11th minute, they're applying some pressure on the edge of the box, and Mukhtar starts moving into the middle after laying it off for someone, and they cross it in, and Miggy is the one at the near post getting ahead on it to try and head it away. Tim Parker, Bartlett, caught in no man's land, ball just falls straight to Mukhtar's feet. He takes one touch to settle it, and then just lasers it at the goal as hard as he can. I don't think he picked a spot out at all.
He just put his boot through it.
Yeah.
I thought he did I was really impressed with that finish, actually, because that ball is like caromed off of Miggy's head, right? Kind of helter-skelter. And then Mukhtar settles quick and fires like almost in one fell swoop right
One
there.
fluid motion.
It was so fast. Like he settled and shot in faster than I've seen other people do it in the MLS. So
Yeah.
It was a good finish. I don't think I can talk any smack on Berkey for that. Maybe you say the defender, like you said, Bartlett, he lunged for it, but like it just happened so quickly. I don't know if there's anything I can put any blame on anybody there. It's tough for me. It's just a good goal.
I think Bartlett and Parker are definitely out of position. They both got like pulled to like past the post. Like one of your center backs at least has to be in the middle of the field.
They were way too close to each other too.
Yeah.
Like they
And
were.
that's all
Both
because of Mukhtar.
Yeah.
The dude like is given the freest role in the MLS that I have seen. He constantly is changing sides, running all throughout the field, just doing whatever he feels like he needs to do, and obviously it works for them.
I wish we had a Mukhtar.
I kind of agree that you can't really place a whole lot of blame on Berkey because that's a hard save. It does end up being like almost at his hands, so I'm kind of like, dude,
he did get a fingertip on it.
Yeah, but it was just hit so hard. I don't think he's doing anything.
Even if he does get more on it, I think it still just blows past his. I mean, it's a hard hit ball.
It's one of those where the goalie has to make a decision where he thinks the ball is going to go because you can tell the dude's just like blasting it.
I thought
And
his vision was blocked by Parker. at that point. Like Berkey probably
might
couldn't
have
see
been,
beyond him.
He probably couldn't have seen it.
I mean,
so.
you guys probably definitely had a better view of what was going on in that
Yeah.
goal than we did.
Yeah. I mean, City did get another chance in the 16th minute. Ostrak passes the ball into the middle of the field where Vasilov's waiting. But he's like 24 yards out. We've been asking for City players to shoot from range, so
Yeah.
Vasilov, playing a deeper role, decides he's going to hit it from that far out. Really wasn't too troubling, right at the keeper's hands. So,
Yeah,
but I just like to see those chances. Sometimes you got to test them.
I agree,
Yeah.
dude. He's got a good left foot too. I
Yeah.
want to see him hit those for
Yeah.
sure. He's probably second to Leuven in that sense. That I want to see you rip one. You could definitely tell that he was upset about the role he had to play in this game. He very much so wants to be like that cam role
Creative.
that we have seen him in.
It's where he's
And-
best.
Yeah.
It's where he
That's
plays
where
to his
we want him.
strengths. Yeah.
I mean-
and there were a lot of moments of frustration for him in this game. So I feel bad for him.
I think-
Ostrak stepped in, played all
Not
right.
that well.
Yeah.
Our team needs depth. I think we are a good team, especially when we're all healthy. They're all healthy, but like, it's rough to replace your star CDM with a 19-year-old.
It's rough to have that kind of depth anywhere. And I feel like we have a ton of very meaningful injuries right now.
Yeah, when you think about when they were building this team in the offseason, they started with the goalkeeper, Berkey, right?
Yep.
Then you have Nielsen up the middle, a certified Bundesliga center back.
Yeah, get a good spine. You get
You
center
got
back,
Leuven
midfield.
playing the 8 right in the middle, and then you have Klaus up top. Like, that is a certified spine right there. And that should be destroying the MLS, and now 3 of those 4 players are out
Just
for an
not
extended
playing.
period of time.
And
So,
Nielsen, we knew that was
Yeah.
the case. But
I mainly mean that Miggy should not have that pressure on his shoulders to take the spot.
look, you got to rise to the occasion at times. He didn't play awfully, but he didn't have a great game.
He kind of just looked like
I think Mukhtar is hard to guard.
And it
Like,
seemed like he was tasked with kind of following
Yeah.
him around for much of that game.
whoever was going to be in that 6 role, I would love to see the matchup between. Let's say we face Nashville in the playoffs.
Well, we'd
Well,
play him in the cup.
in the final.
We'd
Yeah.
play him in the cup, but
I would love to see the matchup between Blom and Mukhtar.
I would too. I think it would be
Yeah.
a good one.
But I don't know. Our depth is being tested right now, and we'll talk about what we got to do moving forward. But yeah, it was shaky.
Yes,
Hard to
very
watch.
shaky.
Yeah.
hard to watch.
But we
for
looked
sure.
good,
that first
yeah.
half wasn't that bad. We're
Yeah,
kind
we're
of dogging
getting-
on the team, but like.
The first half, we looked like the better team.
Yeah,
Like,
Stroud
we-
had a good chance in the 18th, or Stroud
Yeah, he-
crossed it into Gio, and Gio just couldn't get on the end of it. That was
Gio looked pretty dangerous.
I thought so.
Like compared
Me
to a
too.
lot of his other
Yeah.
starts.
Yeah.
I thought that he was getting in between the center backs. I know Jonah was complaining that he wasn't making kind of these defensive breaking runs like in behind anywhere. But I don't think that's the role that Carnell wants him to play. I think he wants that to come from the width more. But on that specific chance, Stroud crosses it in with his right foot, and it's kind of bending towards the goal, ultimately going out of play, or at the goalie. And Gio runs in between the 2 center backs and almost gets a toe on it.
Almost.
Like it would have been a
Oh,
pretty
it was
free goal.
So close.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the Gio point, there's times where early in the season where I felt like he dropped back too much to be playing, like to be our sole 9, right? To be our sole striker. I thought he balanced that well in the first half, at least, and throughout this game. So, yeah. 31st minute, Vasilov gets a yellow. Josh Bauer gets a yellow.
I think that Vasilov yellow was the moment where I was like, wow, he really does not want to play this position. Because he was very pissed off after he got that yellow card. Like, and not at like the referee's decision. He was just like pissed off that he even had to make that challenge.
Be in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ostrak gets barreled through on a 50-50 ball, so Josh Bauer has yellow. And then our goal comes in the 41st minute.
Yep.
Yeah, off a corner, Vasilov plays it off to Alm, and like a quick short pass corner. Alm whips it into the box, and it goes. Everybody was talking about if it was offsides or not, but it was off of the Nashville defender. So Gio being in that position does not make him offside. So
Right.
it was an easy just kind of flicked it in.
Yeah, he kind of
there.
bundled it in. You know, just like fell into the goal with
Hey,
it.
goal's a goal, man.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Agreed.
You got to be there. And,
Great
and
run
for our
too,
team,
I think.
Yeah.
for our team to get a goal back in that game, I was thoroughly impressed. Usually,
too.
if we go down 1-0, it's going to go really poorly, and I thought we showed a lot of fight to get back into the game. I guess we get to halftime 1-1. That's
you're feeling so good. I felt good.
I felt
when I was
great.
watching that game. I was
I
like, man,
did too.
like I'm so happy that we're going into this tied up and
I
not
thought
down
we were
a goal.
going to go get it.
Yeah, I did too. It felt good.
Yeah.
Vibes were up.
I was
It
like, this
definitely
is
hung in the
different.
balance,
Yeah.
and I thought it was for sure more in our favor.
Yeah.
Halftime, Jake Nerwinski
Boy,
gets
were we wrong.
pulled off. Yeah, we were wrong. Jake Nerwinski gets pulled off, and we kind of said something about this on the last podcast or a couple podcasts ago. We were talking about exploring the opportunity to put John Nelson back at left back because of the consistency we saw out of him at the beginning of the season, and putting Hebert on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was our first time ever seeing that. I think that Mukhtar destroying us kind of happened. So
I'm still not like out on that formation, even though the second half did not look pretty at all.
yeah,
I still like that idea of Hebert out on the right and Nelson keeping his spot on the left because he was a pretty solid left back option.
Mm-hmm. Beginning of the year, he's very consistent.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he had a couple poor performances. I didn't think he was bad in this game at all. I mean, none of the goals that happened in the second half are down to him being out of position or not playing well. Ultimately, not very effective. He had some good link-up play. But, I mean, I just don't understand the decision to do that in the middle of the game when obviously what you have going right now has worked. Like, you gave up a goal to kind of what was ultimately a weird, as you said, helter-skelter kind of chance. And didn't really allow him, like Mukhtar, to do anything else in that half. He didn't really have many other opportunities of note.
And to change your lineup right after you gain momentum back is a questionable
weird.
move.
Yeah. I think Carnell was worried about the Jake Nerwinski matchup against Mukhtar, and he thought he had, like, Kyle Hebert, even though he had a rough game, I'd say this is probably his worst game
In a long time.
in the
Since
whole,
Minnesota.
probably the whole season. I'd say
Yeah.
this is worse than Minnesota. So
Yeah.
he, like, I think that Carnell's right in, like, saying that that's the matchup you want. Kyle Hebert's probably one of our best, like, one-on-one defenders. And so that was probably his thought process. But
I don't know if we have anyone that can really one-on-one defend against Mukhtar.
No,
maybe
I mean,
he
the
has the
MLS
best.
might not have
yeah,
that.
I think he probably has the best chance of maybe standing him up, but I don't think
Yeah.
we have anywhere near the pace that we need in the back to keep up with him. But getting into that second half, in the 52nd minute, Zubac has an aerial back heel kind of flick that was like goal of the season worthy if
they
it
crossed
goes
it in from the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was on the opposite end of the field. The second half, we got to see St. Louis coming towards us because we were right above the supporter section. And, dude, I watched it, and I just in disbelief thinking that it went in. Just like, oh, well, this is over.
It's so wild. I don't even know how he did that. It was back heel, like
I
in
would
the air.
Never think
Yeah.
to do that in a million years.
But
it didn't go in.
yeah, it went
Yes.
over the goal, so it didn't matter anyway.
You're bad.
54th, we talked about it a little bit already. Hebert gets beat, and then he just tackles the Nashville player from behind and picks up that yellow. So
Stupidly.
in the 54th, yeah, and then not much.
Yeah, and then our ultimate demise. Zubac is being pressed kind of on the right side of the field, probably a third of the way up the field in their half, and the ball just ends up bouncing out of the two-man kind of clamp down on him to Davis, who instantly just blasts a ball low and hard, bent around Tim Parker into Mukhtar, who is running in behind him in literal acres of space. And Mukhtar just takes it in on goal, takes his time, sees Schaffelberg, who they put on at halftime, and plays just the square tap-in ball to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Hebert does what you are ultimately supposed to do as a defender. Give your goalkeeper a chance, even if it's at the penalty spot. He takes him down. He gets a second yellow, even though that would have been a straight red card.
Yeah.
Yeah, the referee gave him a yellow first.
Yeah. Should have been a red.
Should have just been a straight up red.
Shows me that the ref just
L
very
ref.
incompetent.
Yeah.
We interviewed a guy from Middlesbrough outside of the Nashville Stadium, and you'll be able to see that at some point in the near future. But he was we were asking him to kind of compare European soccer in like the highest leagues in like the Prem to MLS, and one thing that he said is horrible here is the refereeing. And I have to agree. It is atrocious here.
It's terrible.
Frugal McDougal.
I can't hit on Hebert on that challenge. It does beg the question though. If he didn't go in so recklessly on that first yellow, does he get a yellow right there?
Yeah, and then it's just a penalty and a yellow, and we're not down to 10 men.
Yeah.
I feel like if he didn't, no, because they would have been like, dude, you need to go look at this again, because that's
but
a
then
straight
maybe he would have had the power trip, and it's like, no, I had it right the first time.
I gave him a yellow. Yeah. Because it just kind of blew me away that he got a yellow for that
I agree.
wide open goal chance. I'm also surprised Mukhtar didn't go egoist on that.
Yeah, I know, and just put it in.
So maybe that's why he's the MLS
he's
MVP.
got 13 goals, 7 assists. So obviously he's, putting some people in on goal. So yeah, we're down to 10 men. Things are not looking good.
It's not looking good, bro.
Not looking good.
Mukhtar gets it. I don't know if you said it. He took the penalty.
Oh yeah, he took the penalty
goal.
and buried it.
God.
It honestly looked a lot better on the field than it did on the replay. I thought he buried that into the side netting. Berkey's kind of close to saving that.
Yeah.
I thought he.
Odds are always against you, though.
My optimistic ass was in the stands. I think Berkey's saving this.
He
Didn't
said
happen.
that. No, yeah, he said that.
That's the beer talking.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
75th minute, Alex Mule plays a ball into Dax McCarthy, who has a couple people in behind him.
Dax McCarty?
Yeah, Dax McCarty.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Who does like a one-touch layoff kind of back heel.
Oh, it was so dirty.
It was disgusting. Yeah. Into Mukhtar's path, who is making a run just straight through our entire defense, cutting through it like butter, and puts one right into the bottom left-hand corner. One-touch finish. Yeah,
it's not something you see in the MLS. That looks like something out of RB Leipzig, which is where he was.
Curved it away from the goal. He gave him no chance.
Yeah,
no chance. Hit the side net like right at the post.
I love those goals.
Me too.
Like, I hated that it happened to us, but I love watching those low-driven shots. I remember
just a roll on the side net.
FIFA 17 put that into the game where you double tap shot to get the
low
low shot.
OP
my God, it was OP, but it was amazing.
It's an OP finish for a reason. You got to make the goalie get low. Berkey got closer than I probably thought he would have, but he was not saving that in a lot of years.
I was baffled by the curve on that.
Yeah.
Like, usually when you finish low, it's pretty
straight,
pretty direct, but that was just no shot.
Well, he actually, because he hits it with his right, he hits it with like the wrong kind of whip that you want on it, bending it into Berkey's path more, and then ultimately into the corner of the goal. Obviously, it's like kind of hard to get the Trivella swerve on it with your right foot running like that. So, I mean, it's an amazing finish. It is what it is. He looked every bit the MLS MVP in that game.
Yeah, we had one more chance. Alm had played a short corner off to Vasilev. The short corners are kind of been working.
Yeah.
I don't know, at least this game.
We've been getting better deliveries, too, into the box.
I would agree.
I was glad to see, even though we got thwacked.
Stroud has been given better deliveries. That's always been kind of a critique of ours for him.
John Nelson, actually, I thought was doing okay at getting some balls in the box.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we went down to 10 men and kind of needed more goals, Carnell was like, you need to get up because I'm not having Tim Parker and Bartlett up there. And we ended up bringing on Akil Watts, I believe.
Yeah.
Like right after the foul was committed for that red card.
I don't want to sound like a hater.
What?
Sound like a hater.
Yeah. Tim Parker got straight burned.
Dude, and he looked really good in that first half. And that was the chance that you were talking about where Vasilev whips it in.
Yeah, Tim Parker almost scores on this header.
He looked
it
really
just goes
good.
off the post.
Hits the post,
Yeah.
There's just moments. It would have made it 3-2 in the 80-something minute.
I don't think Tim Parker's bad. There's just moments where, like, if a defender somebody gets in behind him,
it's done.
It just looks so like goofy because he's like trying to get
like
back.
He's running through water.
Yeah,
dude. Specifically,
it's like bricks.
Like soccer players are always very like lean up top because you want to have like the least amount of weight possible to be as fast as possible.
Tim Parker,
he's the opposite.
He built like a brick shit house.
He's built like
I just feel like, especially when you're playing against somebody at Mukhtar's level.
Yeah,
you can't both accidentally hold him on and then also be
so
slow that you're never ever getting close to him.
The problem is no one on our team is keeping up with him except for maybe Celio in a dead sprint or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's just fast. Yeah, Stroud maybe, Alm maybe, but that's just maybes.
Put
and those
Gio
aren't people.
on defense.
Yeah, right.
Go have him mark him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gio, we're going to change your role
Tim
for
Parker
the day.
hits the post there, and I honestly thought that their goalie saved that. I was like, well, this is done. It's all over because if that's not going in, nothing's going in. But it did hit the post when we went and saw the replay of it because they didn't show the replay of it in the stadium.
What minute was that?
That was in the 77th.
Yeah. That would have been
then,
cool.
Kind of the last chance of the game could have been 4-0, honestly, or 4-1. Sorry. Shaq Morris played in behind on a fast break because we got nothing to lose at this point. Might as well just throw everybody forward. And Nelson and Celio are like dead sprint tracking him. And then Mukhtar runs behind Celio, who does not pick his head up and look around to see if he needs to mark someone else because Nelson is taking Shaq Moore with the ball. And he kind of cooks Nelson up a little bit and then just lays a pass right across the box. And Berkey does a great job to just come out and close down the angle on Mukhtar, who ultimately side foots it straight into Berkey because that definitely could have been 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolute dominance second half.
Nashville's so good, dude.
They're very good.
It
Very
really
good.
just, I can't even talk
And
shit
they're not
on
even first in the East.
them. I know.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I
we
know.
beat first in the East by 4
The
goals.
only ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've only,
One
Cincinnati's
loss.
only lost
It was
once.
pretty.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
pretty different circumstances as well.
Yeah, that was like a cornerstone win of our season because we were on a giant slide in form and proceeded to kind of turn everything around with that win.
Yeah, we also had we probably had help from a storm that made those Cincy players think they were about to die in the locker room.
That definitely did help.
Did it?
Yeah. I mean, the rain delay, like nobody knew what was going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been bad vibes for City, but I'll say just on a positive note, the U17 boys went in and they beat LAFC 4-2
Very nice.
at the MLS Next Finals in Dallas. So that's encouraging, man. Like St. Louis, I think as the years go on of us having this team, we're really going to become a powerhouse for talent. Like St. Louis has always been a powerhouse for talent, but we're really going to see that
because
come to
it's gonna be
fruition
coming
now
through the academy.
And it's ironic that we just beat LAFC because they had to partner with the likes of Bayern Munich to get talent and develop players, right? New York City FC has to partner with Man City to get talent, and they swap players all the time. St. Louis is a different type of gravy. We're going to breed our own American homegrown players, and I think it's going to be special.
And they're going to be balling like the U.S. team is right now.
Yeah.
We can touch on that for a second. The boys brought home the Nations League.
Second time in a row.
Second time in a row with a dominant win over Mexico in what was like a street fight of a game.
Mm-hmm.
It was
With
disgusting.
not all of our main players because they were out with red cards.
But we actually have
in the
good
Canada
backups
game,
now.
Yeah. I know. Timothy Weah stepped in, played a beautiful number 8/6 role.
Scally looked good.
Yeah.
Scally did look good.
I mean, he locked Davies up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
we
was
don't have
very impressed.
That Canada team's no joke either.
Yeah,
like
and
they're
Jonathan
solid.
David's real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we have way more talent than them.
the
but
quality across the board. Like most of the last, all of the U.S. teams when I was growing up is a lot of MLS players and 1 or 2 players that are playing over in Europe. And now it's all European players, or they're at least playing over in Europe, and then like 1 or 2 MLS players.
Just wait till Greg gets back.
Yeah, Greg
Yeah,
will come
I
back
know.
and he'll ruin all of that.
Dude,
Yeah,
I am
speaking of
so
Shaq
mad about
Moore.
that. Yeah.
I mean, the only positive
him
of
in
Greg, the only positive of Greg coming back is maybe we'll see Indiana Vassilev and Gio start for the men's national team.
that'd be cool.
Hope to see it.
Yeah.
Not in the maybe not yet. But
Greg, don't come back.
he's back.
What? Who?
It's like the Antichrist.
Who
You can't
yeah.
kill him,
makes,
bro.
Who makes the decisions up there? Like, if I walked into my job and had such obvious nepotism towards some other dude because he like dropped my son off of a team or something like that,
Dude,
I would not expect. Like, that's the only person you can't hire.
Gio had 2 assists.
Yeah.
Gio Reyna.
Yeah, Gio
specifically.
Reyna had 2 assists,
Two
in, the
assists
final.
in that final.
Yeah, a beautiful one. Shout out to Balogun getting his first goal in the final.
Oh man,
That was a beauty.
That's
too.
a game changer for the U.S. right there.
It is.
That's like we just got a Ferrari up top,
Dude.
That's crazy.
He looks real
we haven't
deal.
had a legit striker
since Clint Dempsey.
since Dempsey.
Half of the comments under like any U.S. men's national team post right now is like, especially if he's talking, they're like, you can really tell he's from New York. He's got that accent.
He's got that accent.
He's really got that Pennsylvania accent down pat.
That Hershey, Pennsylvania accent.
He's straight eyed, bro.
Oh God.
He's a real roadman, you know.
For real.
But yeah, now we got the U.S. out of the way. We're playing Wednesday. Quick turnaround.
We're playing a much different Real Salt Lake team.
Yeah, we are.
Last time we played them, we were in Real Salt Lake, and they were bottom of the table. Now they're sitting in 7th, I believe, and
coming off some good form.
Pretty good run of form here.
Repro.
They beat DC United. They tied New York FC, and they beat LA Galaxy in their last 3 games. So
yeah,
not bad. Not
and
bad.
beat Austin before that.
Yep.
Repro.
Yeah. So,
I think
kind of nervous.
I'm not nervous. We're back in City Park, baby.
I'm nervous. We don't have
our
We still don't have.
We're back in the cauldron.
Does anyone know if we're gonna have?
the Coliseum, bro.
Yeah. Are we gonna have Blown back? Is he done with international break?
I don't believe he is.
You know
I don't
what?
Think so either.
They better freaking play him if he's gonna be on international break. Otherwise,
Yeah, he's not even starting.
Yeah, or subbing. He didn't come
Yeah,
on.
he didn't even touch the pitch in their game.
I'm mad.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with South Africa's squad, but I just can't imagine they got somebody better than Blom right
I
now.
agree. Dude, I feel like he could step in. If he was a U.S. men's national team player, I feel like he could step in and do as good a job as Musa has been doing in the national team. You don't think so? I think he's great, man. He looks insanely.
I mean, Musa's not really a CDM.
He's not always a CDM.
He just has to be a CDM.
He's
right
been doing
now.
that because Tyler Adams is
right, but
he's not taking Tyler Adams' spot.
Blom's
All right, who's better, Blom or Tyler Adams?
Tyler Adams.
Tyler Adams.
Blom's
Okay.
not touching
Okay.
Tyler Adams' boots. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tyler Adams might be the best player on our team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'm with
either
you.
Pooley or him.
If
with you.
Tyler Adams is back and Musa can play his normal role, I think we're dogging Mexico and Canada way more than we did.
Timothy Weah out on the right side looked great though.
Yeah, he did look really good.
Where they normally they play Musa out there often, so I don't know if Weah loses his spot when Tyler Adams comes back and Wes McKinney comes back.
I feel like when Tyler Adams comes back, you see Reyna move up to some sort of winger position because that's what he plays for Dortmund. I know he looked great in the midfield.
Looked great in the cam, though.
Yeah, he looked
Like,
great,
really good.
but
It's that freaking hair, man.
no, it's not the
Beautiful
hair.
bastard.
Craig
Shimmering.
will come back and fuck it all.
Yeah,
up.
don't worry. He's going to come back
I can't
and
believe.
just ruin the lineup.
I cannot believe he openly admitted that he hasn't spoken to 3 of our players
About-
since the World Cup.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
Since the World Cup.
Like
That's
you're
terrible.
not a leader then. Yeah. What? I'm
What are you
lost.
doing?
Yeah.
All right, back to City. What do we got to do to win versus Real Salt Lake? What lineup do you think we roll out there? I think Johnny Nelson gets his spot back, especially with Hebert.
Oh, it's out of necessity.
yeah.
I don't know if he's
Out.
done enough to necessarily earn that back in perpetuity, but he's definitely going to play on Wednesday.
Yeah, for sure.
And he looked like very serviceable, like a lot better than his last 2 kind of starts at
He looked
FC
more
Dallas.
confident.
Dude, he was
his,
good.
His technical ability was there. I feel like the inner passing was. I mean, he can see attacks build a lot better than
Yeah, there were a few
any
moments.
of our other wing backs.
Yeah. Well, he's the only one that gets forward and knows somewhat what he's doing. Like Hebert, when he gets up there, is just like, okay, where is Tim Parker?
What I mean is, he was putting in.
Let me put this ball back.
yeah, and I like that he's
Yeah,
looking
it's
for
fine.
the easy pass.
I don't.
Well,
John Nelson definitely had some opportunities to get in behind even further, making even higher overlap runs. They were tracking him pretty well. I specifically remember one ball that Ostrak tried to play into his path, and it looked better on TV than it actually was. We were directly above where that ball was played, and he was never going to be the first one there, even if he was in a dead sprint. But there's opportunity for him to be a lot more involved in the attack.
A lot more tenacious.
Yes.
I think with the quick turnaround of games, like us playing on Saturday and then also having to play on Wednesday, I don't think we roll out the same exact lineup. I think we have the same back 4 minus Hebert.
Right.
And then you have Nervinsky, Nelson in their respective position, Bartlett, Parker in their respective position. You got to play Miggy again. And you
I
gotta
don't think you do. I think we might see Akil Watts at CDM.
Oh, dude. We played him versus Colorado at CDM.
Did we?
Yeah, and that
Okay.
did not look great.
It didn't look good?
Yeah.
I remember seeing him play CDM in the Bayer Leverkusen game for that City 2, and he didn't.
He came
thought
on later. Yeah,
Yeah.
he came on. Yeah.
And I thought he was all right in that game, but
We'll see.
I don't know.
Vassilev will have to play the 8 again.
Yep.
I think, I hate to say it, but I think Tomas Ostrak is not going to start on Wednesday. I think it's going to be Ezeel Jackson.
You think so?
I think he gets his start at the cam position.
I think he should get one at this point. Yeah, because no one else off the bench has looked up to par in that role other than Vassilev.
Do you think you could put Akil Watts and Vassilev, pair them as the double pivot in the middle, and then hold up. My bad. Miggy and Akil Watts in the middle as the double pivot.
We could see that too.
Put Vassilev back in the 10 position because that's where he's clearly
The best.
playing his best football.
I think we could definitely see that.
I think that's risky.
Makes me
man.
nervous.
Yeah, it's just like such a risky move.
So young.
Yeah.
Such a young pairing.
Yeah.
I personally can't believe we threw him. We really threw him in deep water. We're just like, hey, this guy's the MVP. Go
Dude,
lock him up.
We literally need him though. Like he's the best 6 we have right now.
Yeah, he is the number 2 option to blow,
So-
and Blom is gone at least for this game. So
You look that up. Is he for sure not
yeah,
coming back?
he's not going to be there.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. What do you get? What are your score predictions? Real Salt Lake sits 7th. They got 1.1 goals per match, and they concede 1.6. We're also at home. We're still first in the table. So.
We're gonna need some fire from the fans, which
Yeah.
we always get. But I got a bad
Score
feeling.
prediction. What you got, Mick?
I'll say a tie, 1-1.
1-1 tie. I got 3-2 win. I think we'll get a big result off the back of what should have been a big result in Nashville, in my opinion, with the penalty call or no call, as well as kind of just you got to just toss that in the trash and forget about it. Like the greatest players, you go out and shoot 3 for 20, totally forget about it after a night's sleep, and get out there and win a game.
Yeah. I'm going to say 2-2 draw. I think Gio gets a brace. I think he's been playing with a lot of confidence.
Out of his mind, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think that we rely on him. We're going to rely on him and Vassilev a lot in this next stretch of games. They're kind of our like young leaders, like stepping up. So
Yep.
we're going to need it. We're going to need it for sure.
Absolutely going to need it.
You guys got anything else?
Nope.
We need depth.
Let's go out there and sign another player.
Yeah.
How about
a
it?
winger
Yeah, Lutz.
or a
Yeah,
or
let
a
us
You
know.
listening, Lutz?
Yeah.
Please make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.